Hello, I'm State Representative Stephanie Kunze from the 24th House District. Welcome to Ohio in Focus.
Hello and welcome to this edition of Ohio in Focus, a program that brings state government to you. I'm your host, Mike Ditto. We have with us today State Representative Stephanie Kunze, who represents the 24th Ohio House District, which includes portions of western and southwestern Franklin County. Representative Kunze, thanks for joining us.
Oh, it's my pleasure, Mike. Thank you.
So you are in your first term in the Ohio House. You've been here for about 2.5 to 3 months. What has it been like in your first term? And maybe you could tell your constituents back home a little bit about your background.
Oh, sure, I'd be happy to. The first few months have been basically hit the ground running with the budget that the governor has sent over to us. The 1st of February, we've been working quite hard on lots of issues in conjunction with the other bills and other things that we have going on in the House. So it's been an exciting time to get started as a state representative, and
you've enjoyed it so far?
So far, it's been great.
Good, good. You and I have spoken previously that you are a former member of the Hilliard City Council. Tell us a little bit about that and your experiences there, and what it's like making that change from City Council over to the State House.
Well, City Council, I think, is a really great stepping stone from to go to a bigger position in state government. It's almost a smaller version of what we're doing on a statewide level.
Sure.
The people that you represent in your city are looking to you for leadership. They're looking to you for answers on problems, ways to improve quality of life, economic development, and then those things are basically transferred over into the state level here as a state representative, just serving a larger population.
How long did you serve on City Council?
I was on for 3 years. I was in the middle of my term when I ran for state representative.
Now, do you think that there are big differences between City Council and state rep, or is it just a bigger district? What are the biggest differences that you see?
I see the biggest differences I see are, well, first of all, I think politics on a local level, the old saying goes, it's all local, and it really is. So at the statewide level, it's been a great experience having that council background. But getting to know your constituents and getting to know their needs, listening to the people that you represent, those all transfer over from local government to state government, and those are probably the most important issues anyway, are what people bring to you and what they want to see changed, or what they like happening and they don't want to see changed.
Well, you're a member of the Majority Caucus, and the Majority Caucus introduced a series of 10 priority bills for this General Assembly, and you are the joint sponsor of House Bill 3 here in the Ohio House that just passed earlier this week. Tell us a little bit about the bill and what it does and who you're working on it with.
Sure. I'm working on it with Representative Barbara Sears, and it's been a pleasure to work with her on this bill. We've introduced a piece of legislation that will essentially be a consumer protection law for Ohioans going forward with the new Affordable Care Act. They have defined something called a navigator, which is a person that will help you, if you don't have insurance, navigate insurance plans to find which plan will best fit your needs. As far as co-pays, benefits, all of those types of things. Here in Ohio, we have many licensed insurance agents that provide that service, and there is nothing in the federal law to, actually there's something in the federal law that says that navigators cannot have errors and omissions insurance. We require, our Department of Insurance requires that our insurance agents carry errors and omission insurance so that you, the consumer, when you're purchasing insurance, if for some reason the agent doesn't give you the best advice, either on purpose or by accident, you are covered, you're protected under Ohio law. Sure. That would not be the case with a navigator. So what we are trying to do is ensure that navigators are able to present the plans to you, that you can find the best coverage for yourself, but that you're also protected under Ohio law if something were to go wrong.
So a consumer protection bill that, if I remember correctly, actually passed out of the House yesterday and is waiting consideration in the Senate.
Actually, I heard this morning it passed back from the Senate yesterday and it's on its way back to the House.
Very good, very good. So you're moving right along here in the month of March. That's great.
And then House Bill 8. House Bill 8 is really It's a school safety bill. I'm working on that with Representative Rogner. It's more, though, the Senate right now is currently undergoing a whole host of different issues. I mean, when you talk school safety, it's a very broad topic.
Yes.
House Bill 8 is more focused on a simple, like the low-hanging fruit, one which is for school boards to have more local control over going into to be able to talk about their safety plans and update their safety plans without fear that if they do decide to arm maybe staff members, or if they want to update it in any way, that it would not be subject to records requests and that type of thing. Not that we don't want it to be transparent. It's
Sure.
more of it's just a safety guard for the public not to be able to know exactly what's going on in the district, and hopefully that will deter some forms of violence against teachers, students, and that type of thing, if you're unsure as to whether or not a district does have people armed in their buildings or not, and who those people are.
School safety has been a big issue lately, not only in the last couple of months here in Ohio, but in the last couple of years nationwide. Who are you seeking input from in particular on this bill?
On this bill, we have spoken with the FOP, law enforcement agencies, and then we're working closely with the Ohio School Board Association. Like I said, it's not trying to fix everything or tell local school boards how to do it or what to do. We want them to be able to come together with their law enforcement, their local governments, and the school boards and make the best decisions for their district on what they feel is the best way to keep their students safe and our kids safe. I mean, I have 2 children that we mentioned earlier that are in Ohio public schools, and so this is a big concern for me.
Absolutely, a great priority, it sounds like. Now, as a member of the House, and even as a member of the Senate too, the members of the General Assembly are always assigned to committees, which a lot of the grunt work is done. What committees do you serve on?
I'm fortunate enough to serve on Economic Development and Regulatory Reform Committee, the Insurance Committee, Education Committee, and I also serve on Rules and Reference.
So there's no lack of a busy schedule for you.
No.
That's good. Now, on the Education Committee, you've heard a lot of, I'm sure, testimony in the last few months from a variety of stakeholders, teachers, and others on a variety of proposals, including maybe portions of the governor's budget or other items. You have, I think, a background to some degree in education. What has your experience on that committee been like?
You know, it's been very helpful to hear from all of the stakeholders that have come before the committee, kind of giving their recommendations, what they like, what they don't like. I think one of the things from my background that helps is if you've actually been inside a school building, working with the people that are making the decisions and every day, it does give you a different perspective. What we do here in the House affects real people every day in their jobs and in educating our kids. And so I think when we are making considerations about which pieces of legislation, what changes we are going to make, we have to be really thoughtful, and sometimes the devil's in the details. We need to see how this is really going to translate and or I should say, just play out in real world experiences.
Absolutely. You have 98 colleagues in the Ohio House. With all 99 districts, there's a variety of different issues that affect each district very differently. What would you say would be the number 1 and 2 issues that are facing the 24th House District? You
know, we are blessed to have the 24th House District here in Central Ohio. I think one of the good things about being close to Columbus and in Franklin County is we've weathered the recession maybe a little better than some of the other parts of the state. But I think we still are concerned about improving our economy, keeping it strong. I know that some of the tax issues are important to the 24th District. Some of the the governor's proposals in the budget are big concerns, and I think obviously education funding and how we're going to go about maybe working to see a different formula. That's another key piece.
Have you had any surprises being a legislator here? I know you've only been here for a couple of months at this point, but has anything pleasantly surprised you or been a hindrance to you serving in your capacity or that you are right now? You know,
I've had several people ask me that, and really, I'm not surprised. I guess I've been more pleasantly surprised.
That's good.
Yes, so I think I've been really pleased at how kind and just professional, and you mentioned I have 98 other colleagues, and I can tell you that they all are really well-meaning, and even on political differences aside, everyone has been very professional and really, I think, wants what's best for the people of Ohio. And so that's been a pleasant surprise for me.
Most people may not have a real understanding for what a typical day would be like in the life of a state legislator, particularly one in Franklin County who is not too far from the State House and here very often. Maybe you could shed some light to your constituents on what a typical busy day at the State House is like for you.
Well, first of all, there's really not a typical day, which is kind of the beauty of it, and something I love about the job or about the work. But I did take a picture of my iPhone calendar and snapshotted it and texted it to a couple of my friends and my mother who wanted to know what my day looked like, and because it was a picture is worth 1,000 words. Right. But pretty much I get here early. I have usually a breakfast in the morning with some advocacy group that are here to kind of inform us on their issues. I usually schedule meetings every 15 minutes to a half an hour with groups, constituents that come down to meet with me. And then there's usually a lunch of some sort, and then session, and not to mention on days when we have committee where, like you said, all the grunt work is getting done. We're hammering out some of the details that we're concerned about with pieces of legislation. So it's exciting and fast-paced.
That's good.
Never a dull moment.
Never a dull moment, that's right. What would you say you have enjoyed most about the job just in the short time that you've been here? Really
getting to know so many people, getting to work on certain, getting to work on 2 top 10 bills certainly is very important. Having one pass the House yesterday, really making a difference for the people that I'm serving, and being able to see that already in just 3 short months has been fantastic.
Absolutely. Your district covers portions of western Franklin County. Do you have a good working relationship with the other members in the Franklin County delegation, and are there any projects that any of you have worked on together so far?
We have a great Central Ohio delegation across the aisle, all around Ohio, or all around Franklin County. I know that there are a number of projects that are being talked about and are in consideration that we have, but nothing, I don't have anything currently that I'm working on.
Do you think that people should be inspired to run for the state legislature down the line in any district? I mean, what advice would you give to students maybe in your district or younger folks who have a desire to get involved in public service? What would you tell them?
Well, first of all, I would tell them when I was in 6th grade, I went on a tour of the State House, and I was from Indiana, don't judge, but
we won't.
I still even fell in love with kind of what was going on there and had an interest in politics. But I guess what I would tell someone is, if you think you might even have an inkling, learn a little bit more about it. It doesn't, anyone who has a heart to serve can do it. It's really just basically, if you care about people and you care about making a difference, no matter what your background, you can definitely make a difference in the State House.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off
there.
All right. Is that what inspired you to run? Was just a desire to serve?
Pretty much. Like I said, I as a young girl, I always thought, wow, it would be very neat to work and be able to govern in your state. And then when I was basically just volunteering in my community, I had a friend who wanted to run for city council, and I helped her run. And I think just getting involved in small ways sometimes allows you to step into bigger shoes.
Absolutely.
So.
Well, we are going to put your contact information for your district or for your office in the district right at the bottom of our screen. So we'll have your State House contact information there in case anyone wants to get in touch with you. And hopefully in the next couple of months you'll come back and join us and tell us about what happened with the state budget and anything else that's pertinent to your constituents back home.
I would love to, Mike. Thank you.
Great. Representative, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. We look forward to seeing you again here on the next edition of Ohio in Focus, and we thank Representative Stephanie Kunze for joining us today. And we look forward to seeing you here again next time.